Hi guys, so I'm back to use my old microphone because the new one was a load of rubbish and then it decided to stop working. So yeah, I need to return that. So it's week 17. I weighed myself at the beginning of the week and I've lost another £3. So I'm at a £25 loss now. So that's really good. Side effects? Nothing. I've not had a thing. I am feeling more tired recently, but I do think that's the change in season. I don't think it's to do with the injection. It's a different kind of tiredness that I was feeling, or that I am feeling. You know what I mean? So yeah, no major side effects at all. I do have the dry mouth, but I'm literally not going to mention that anymore because it's a thing, and that's it. But apart from that, yeah, absolutely fine. Appetite wise, like I was saying in my previous video, it's come to a weird point because I do feel hungry and sometimes I can really eat. But it's just not the same as before. It's really weird. Yesterday we went out for a meal with family and I did eat quite a bit. I had a couple of vegan chicken nuggets, probably like 4, and then I had a steak with some pan-fried vegetables and a few sweet potato fries, but I hardly ate any of the sweet potato fries. I just focused on the steak first. And then afterwards, about a good 40 minutes afterwards, I had a little mini chocolate brownie with a bit of ice cream. And I was really full. That was like a huge meal for me, but I probably, if I wasn't at a family meal, I probably would have just had something really small and not really thought twice about it. But when you're out for a meal with people, it's different, isn't it? But even what I had, I suppose, if you think about what I used to eat and the amount that I used to eat, it's tiny. It was tiny compared to what I was eating. So yeah. And then generally, day to day, I will have moments where I think, oh God, I'm really hungry. But then other times I can forget that I need to eat. So today I was up at like 6 o'clock. Over the course of the day, I've been drinking one of these Lucozade alert things because I am struggling with tiredness at the minute, and focus as well because I've just got so much going on that my brain can't keep everything in order. So yeah, usually Monday that's the drink of choice. So yeah, I've been to the office today because I'm more productive in the office. So I try and do every Monday there, and I forgot. Like 3 o'clock came, and I just forgot to eat. I just forgotten that I'd not had anything to eat all day, and that's possibly because I'd eaten so much more than I normally would on these injections yesterday. But yeah, I just thought, oh Christ, I need to eat something. But then tomorrow I could wake up and be absolutely starving. It's weird. But when I do eat, I need very little food to sustain me. So yeah, it's just I don't know if I've reached my maintenance dose, and this is like the sweet spot, or if I should kind of push myself to the 12.5 and just see if that kind of takes the edge off a little bit of the hunger, just a little bit more. What I'm scared of doing is kind of pushing myself too far and losing all interest in food and all of that. I really don't want that. But the problem is, I think if I was to start on the 12.5, I'd have to use that injection up. I'd have to use all 4 doses. So by that point, my body's used to the 12.5. And then if I go back to the 10, am I then putting myself in a position where my body's just not going to react at all to it? So it's a bit of a difficult one at the moment. I'm probably going to do a bit more research on it and just find out what other people's thoughts are. And then make a decision nearer to the time when my pen's running out, because I've only had one. No, I haven't. I've had two. I've had two. I've had 2 doses out of it now, so I'm halfway through that. Yeah, so yeah, I do need to have a think about what I want to do moving forward with that, because yeah, it's a difficult one. And the other thing is that the stronger the dose is, the more expensive it is. So that's really shit. But then again, it's only like 10-20 quid more on top of what you've already been paying. So, but yeah, I'll have to see. Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one, isn't it? But yeah, no side effects. Appetite control, it's definitely there. I can feel it doing the work for me, and it's taking that kind of impulsivity away. It's reducing all of that. It's I'm not just reaching for any old thing and shoving it in my gob whenever. I'm really conscious of what I'm eating. I'm also able to make healthier choices. So yesterday when we went out to eat, I would have definitely had something more higher in calories. I would have had chips, but I just thought there's no point in me ordering stuff like that, because I'm not going to be able to eat it. And in my mind, I was thinking, well, I've got some lean protein there. I'll have some vegetables with it. I'm going to make the most of, I did have the brownie afterwards, but, it's balance, isn't it? And I don't crave that shitty food as much anymore, hardly at all. When I'm faced with a choice between a healthier option and shit food, I'm more than likely going to choose the healthier option, just because I'm trying to. My mind is kind of in that place where I'm thinking, well, I can only eat so much, so what I do eat, I kind of need to make the most of that opportunity and not just shovel shit down me. So yeah, it's definitely helping, definitely doing something, and I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of it. So yeah, so that's really good. And £25 down, it's so weird. I do feel physically, I do feel really different. And people are noticing it now as well, which is really nice. And the other thing is, I'm gonna have to start looking at buying more clothes, because a lot of my clothes are getting too big for me and they just look hideous. Because obviously, you get to that point where if something is baggy on you, I think sometimes it makes you look bigger, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of look at getting some different clothes and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's it for now for week 17. Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye. Hi guys. So it's week 17 still. I'm struggling at the moment. I've noticed, and I think it's been happening since I started this dose. I've noticed that I'm struggling with like this really shaky feeling, and it's not related to hunger as such. It's not happening when I'm hungry. Sometimes it happens before I feel any hunger. And I think it's my blood sugar. I think the injections lowering my blood sugar too much, and I think it's possibly too strong for me. So I'm gonna have to do some reading on it, because I don't want to be having hypos or anything while I'm out and about, and I'm just a little bit worried that it's kind of too much for me. And I don't, I'm not really 100% on that, because it's years since I've worked with diabetic people, and all of that kind of thing. So I really wouldn't. I'm not kind of on top of information around stuff like that anymore. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of reading, I think, and just see what that could mean. And obviously talk to my doctor and pharmacist who were supervising me on these. But yeah, it's just a really weird thing. I noticed it as soon as I started the dose, like I say, but I've kind of, it's one of those things where you are aware of it, but you're not fully conscious of it at the time. But I really felt it yesterday, and I just thought that's very odd, very odd. I've not felt that before on any other doses. So yeah, so I'm just gonna try and do some rummaging and find out what it's all about. But apart from that, I've had no side effects. Appetite's still been very up and down, very weird. But again, even when I am hungry, I only need a little bit of food to kind of satisfy that hunger. And whatever I do eat, I can live on for hours and hours and hours. You know what I mean? I'm not snacking. I'm not feeling like I need to, eat between meals. I'm not really having meals anymore. I'm kind of just, there's not much structure to it. So I'm not having breakfast anymore, because I was finding that I was having breakfast, and then for the rest of the day I just didn't want to eat anything else. And obviously I'm a bit funny about breakfast. I'm really kind of picky about what I have. So I don't have much opportunity at breakfast time to make decent choices around what I'm eating, and in terms of protein especially, because the protein intake is really important when you're on these, because you get saggy skin, you get muscle wastage, all that kind of thing. So they do recommend that you try and get as much protein as you can. So yeah, so I thought, well, if it's a toss up between having breakfast and then not eating all day, or missing breakfast and then having a little bit for lunch and a little bit for an evening meal, then I'm probably going to do that. So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, but again, I'm not really having a lunch as such. I'm just having a few little bits, picky bits of things that are high in protein, and then for my evening meal, it could vary, but I'll make sure that it's protein heavy and low carb, or lower in carbs, and it'd be a very small portion, whatever it is. So yeah, it's been a bit weird in terms of there isn't, like I say, there isn't really much structure to what I'm eating, but I'm not needing to eat between any meals that I do have. It's literally a couple of meals a day, and that's it. But side effects, nothing apart from this weird what I think is low blood sugar. It's just a really weird feeling. Like I get just really weak and shaky. I did wonder if it was the caffeine because I have been having a lot of caffeine lately because I've been really struggling with tiredness, but I don't know. I don't think it is. I really don't think it is because on days when I've not had so much caffeine, I'm still getting that feeling. So yeah, that's it really for week 17. It's just been a very weird week. And last week, that was a bit of a weird one as well. But I'm losing weight, and that's kind of the main focus at the moment. And it's doing what it needs to be doing, so I can't complain really. So yeah, that's it, I think. Okay, bye.